Sacred Sanctuary podcast. I'm your host, Makisha Banks, and this podcast is created to provide you with a safe space to explore, expand, and go deeper in discovering parts of ourselves that have been hidden away. I appreciate you being here, and I invite you to take the step towards developing your sacred practice and connecting to your true self. Welcome to the Sacred Sanctuary, everyone. Today in this space, we will be going over some grounding and harmonizing work. In our last episode, we really focused on integration, and before that, we learned about clearing energy. Now we really want to focus on grounding our energy, because when we do clear and get rid of energy, we sometimes can feel very spacey, so excited, really ambitious and optimistic, which is amazing. However, if we sometimes are too spacey or too excited, we can go too fast, too quickly, and not really pay attention to synchronicities, important information or important dates, or just overall taking a good pace. So today we're really going to be going over grounding ourselves. So then that way we are very optimistic and we very much are ready to take on the world, but we have some grounding with us. So then that way we're balanced. So today it is again sitting back, relaxing, and enjoying a guided meditation. So I would find a comfy spot, maybe sitting up with a clear posture, or lying down where you can feel a little bit more relaxed, because sometimes holding a posture could be difficult. But I do think it's great to have a nice sitting up straight posture. You can lean against a wall or pillows if you like, just because when we're grounding, we do want to have a very clean and clear spine. So go ahead and get yourself ready. So go ahead and take a nice, deep, cleansing breath from your stomach. And hold it for 3, 2, 1, and let it out. And again, a nice deep cleansing breath. And hold it for 3, 2, 1, and let it out. Last one. And hold it for 3, 2, 1, and let it out. Allow yourself to relax, starting with your toes. Wiggle them and let them go. Then your ankles, and let them go. And then your calves, and see the muscles relax and let them go. Then your knees, see all the joints release and let them go. Now your thighs, release. 1, 2, 3, and let them go. And now your bum. Feel all of the pressure in your root chakra. Release. 1 muscle at a time, and let them go. stomach, where your solar plexus is. Feel all of your organs. Release all of the tension and start to let go. Now your heart. Feel the warmth and feel the clearing and let it go. Feel your fingers start to loosen. Your palm is warm but loose. Your wrists are relaxing. Your arms are relaxing. And now at your shoulder blades, they're relaxed and letting go. Now at your collar to your throat, relaxed. You can swallow without any tension, releasing and letting go. Now your jaw is relaxed, no tension. You can feel your ears loosening. You can hear the birds and the insects and the wind letting go. Your nose and your mouth letting go. Your eyes and your eyebrows releasing all tension and letting go. And now you feel a tingle at your crown. All of the tightness letting go. Lay here and take 3 breaths. And hold for 3, 2, and 1. And letting go. You open your eyes and you realized you've been sleeping at your desk for so many hours after spending so much time working on your computer. You get up, you start to stretch and realize, wow, we haven't walked or seen the sunlight or even breathed for a very long time. But the work that you've been working on is just so amazing and you're proud of yourself. So it's time to get out the door and go for a walk. You grab your sweater and your shoes, look at the time really quickly, and notice it's 2 in the afternoon, and the sun is beaming through the windows. After you cross through the yard, you open the gate through your backyard and go down the nice trail that has all the beautiful trees and the birds, and that leads you to the meadow. The trail looks so beautiful this time of the year. It reminds you of every time you go on this trail, something beautiful and magical happens. You just can't help but looking at all of the blooming flowers in the different shades, the luscious trees and the bushes, and all these beautiful animals that just seem to light up every time you come on the trail. They're happy that you're here. They're happy that you're taking the time to ground yourself and just see something beyond your computer or the work that you do every day. Because ultimately, you need time to ground yourself, give space to new ideas, and really be proud of yourself for working so hard and not giving up on yourself. You continue to walk through the meadow, looking everywhere at all the beautiful birds and the scenery and the lusciousness of the trail. You notice at your side of your eye, something starts to glimmer and capture your attention. And you can't believe it because you only hear them in fairy tales or movies and all of these different books that you read. But you actually saw a fairy, something more purple like a butterfly and a little bit more exotic like a moth. But it was an actual fairy. So you decide to go a little bit closer because it's sitting on a leaf and it looks at you and waves. And you just walk closer to it just to see it in person a little bit more closer, but just to make sure that you're not going crazy. You get right up close to it and it's real. It's an actual fairy. So you try to touch it and it slaps your finger out of the way because of course, why would you want to be poked too? Well, the fairy starts to talk to you, but there's no voice coming from the fairy. It's telepathically. And the fairy tells you, "We've been waiting for you. Where have you been? It's been a long time since we've seen you, since the rainfall." And you look at the fairy in disbelief that they were there that first time you were in the forest. So you follow them continuously into the forest, past all of the different light beings that are around, and to the two trees, the very tall trees that look like pillars in the middle of the forest. They wave at you and say, "Come on in, it's time." So you cross over the pillars and into this big, green, lush area that clearly was not in the forest before. And there's these 2 stone chairs that are just sitting in the middle of the lush green area. And in the middle of the 2 stones is this beautiful violet pink fire. It's really bright, but it seems to be glowing more than anything. So you walk closer and you look at the fairies and they don't say anything. They just keep fluttering away closer to the chairs, and they tell you to have a seat on the chair. So you sit down on the stone that looks a little bit like a selenite crystal, but at the same time has a grayish tone of color to it. So you're sitting in front of this fire and there's no heat coming from it, but you can hear a vibration that's kind of vibrating off of the fire, and it's glinting a violet color, a little bit of pink, and a little bit of gold white light. So you look at the fairies, but they're no longer there, and you don't know where else to go. So you just continue to look at the fire, and eventually it starts to get larger and grow. And you look through the fire and you see almost like a gleaming halo of a person sitting in the other chair across from you. You see the eyes first. They're bright, they're blue, and they're shining intently through this violet pink fire. And then he smiles at you and says, "Welcome. It's been a long time and a very long journey, and it's time for you to rest." He asks you to go ahead and stretch out your arms, allowing your fingers to be touched by the fire, allowing the fire to purify your skin and just warm them up just a little bit. He says we're going to purify your energy and ground your energy. That way to allow more light to move through you and amplify your desires and your manifestations. The first thing he asks you to do is to bring forth something that's troubling you, something that's making you feel frustrated, annoyed, tired, and just not excited, because we're going to allow the fire to purify that. And right when you thought about something that is frustrating you, you've seen it just flow right into the fire from your fingertips, and the fire just got bigger, and then it went small, as if it just burned away that worry or that frustration you had. And as it did that, you felt like your shoulders were more straight, your back felt more lighter, and your head feel more clear. And he said, perfect, let's do it again. Bring another thought, another idea, another worry that you have. Bring it to mind in order for the fire to purify it from you. And instantaneously, when you thought of some other things that's been troubling you, it's right at that instance, the fire sucked it up from your fingers and burnt it away. And the fire got very big and then very small. And then he starts to laugh and he says, amazing, let's do it again. And then another frustration, but it's more so a block that you've been noticing, you've been keeping in the background of your mind, all of a sudden just came bursting out of your fingers and right into the fire. And the fire grew so large this time, and then it calmed down and it released, and you felt so much weight and so much clarity come in from your fingertips. Now that we cleared our energy, he says, it's time to ground ourselves and feel more connected to Mother Earth. That way it's easier for us to ascend and acclimate to our next level of life and feeling more on purpose and focused. So he says to stand up and walk to the green, lush area. Take off your shoes, take off your socks, and just have a seat in the grass and allow ourselves to feel the vibrations that are coming off of the earth. And take a nice deep cleansing breath and slowly exhale. And as we exhale, we feel these golden white lights coming through our tailbone, circulating through our legs and our feet, working its way up into our stomach, cleansing and clearing, and working its way through to our heart, cleansing and clearing, going in circular wrapping motions around our heart, filling our heart with light and love, and moving its way to our shoulders, through our arms and our fingers, amplifying in bright lights, moving its way to our throat, wrapping and clearing, and surrounding us with beautiful, bright lights, moving its way to our jaw, to our nose, through our ears, centers, wrapping us in bright lights, and through our third eye to our crown, wrapping both sides of our brain, clearing it and wrapping it with white light, and then it shoots up from our crown straight into the sky, and all you can hear is a crackle as it moves its way into the sky, into the universe, and then it moves its way straight down through our body into the earth, to the core of the earth, and you hear a crackle, and then it moves all the way up through our body, through our crown, into the universe, and it does that process about 7 times, going up and down through us, and down and up and through us, until we feel energized, rejuvenated, purified, strong, grounded, as if our cells are opening, as if our energy field is growing, as if our mind is clearing, and our body is rejuvenated, strong, and stable. He asks you, how do you feel, my child? How do you feel now that we've cleared and grounded your energy? You take this time to express how you feel. You take the time to express what you're working on. You take this time to express your gratitudes, your joys, your challenges, but your wins as well. You take this time for about a minute to discuss what's deep in your heart and what you want moving forward. You take your time and express your heart's desires. Take your time now to have this conversation and allow yourself to express everything that's been on your heart. Beautiful. We're so happy and glad that you had this conversation with your guides. It's time to go back home with our newfound advice, with our newfound understanding, and feeling grounded and on purpose. And if there wasn't much to discuss, as long as you were in the energy and you're absorbing and you're just in the presence of your guides, that's all that matters. So you walk your way back through the pillars, just listening to the peace that surrounds you and listening to your steady heartbeat. You find yourself already through the meadow and onto the trail. And as you walk onto the trail, you look back at the forest and you see a collection of beautiful different animals, from the deers to the rabbits, the fluttering butterflies, and of course those mystical fairies just looking at you as you walk back to your home and through your gate. You come into your room, to your computer table, and you just take out a pen and paper and write down some of the key points from your discussion with your guides. That way you don't forget, but it also reminds you of what to move forward on and what to focus on. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember to take your time and recover. No rushing, no fast movements, but just flowing and gliding through your days to come. Drink grounding fluids, drink a lot more water, have a lot more grounding foods, things that make you feel great and support your journey. And as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on our next episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Sacred Sanctuary with Makisha Banks. If you enjoyed this episode, give us a rating, leave us a comment, and share it with your friends. And of course, you're more than welcome to connect with me on TikTok or Instagram at Makisha Banks. And until next time, wishing you a fun-filled week with sacred moments and soulful discoveries. See you next time.